Hey guys, we're back. Had a little sabbatical. I wish that sabbatical was like that we went to like Hawaii or something, but
That'd been nice.
yeah,
Maybe another
not so
time.
much. Anyway, we're back. Another Q&A. Is this 32? Q&A 32, I think.
Our last one wasn't 32?
No, I think this is 32.
Okay.
I like need you to remember that. That's like your job.
Oh, I didn't realize that was my job. If it's my job, then I'll do it better.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty sure it's 32.
Okay.
Anyway.
Are you going to get comfortable or are you going to just keep sitting?
I feel like I am comfortable.
Sitting up like
I am comfortable. Listen.
Okay, guys.
Listen.
Guys.
Scoochy scooch. There we go. How much more comfortable do you want me to get?
That looks better. Just, I mean, you don't have to like lean, just,
Okay, I'm comfortable. I couldn't get any more comfortable if I tried.
Perfect.
Okay, so how the Q&A goes is a lot of the questions we get are how do we stop an unwanted behavior. I want to like come closer because I want to like,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go closer.
That is what we're really good at, is stopping unwanted behaviors. Okay, listen, I'm trying to be serious.
Sorry, go ahead.
We're really good at stopping unwanted behaviors. So that's a lot of the questions that we get. In our day-to-day life and training dogs, we do a lot of reward-based training. So balanced dog training is praise and reward. However, if this is the first time you've watched this Q&A, you're going to be like, gosh, they talk a lot about punishment. Well, that's most of the questions that we're getting. And how do we stop? So we are going to talk a lot about punishment. However, like I said, we do a ton of reward-based training here, which we do with clicker and food. Some of the services that we offer: private training, board and train, Skype, FaceTime sessions, but we also try to put out as much free content as possible so that folks can, honestly, off-leash train their dogs by just watching our videos. So if you haven't been over to our YouTube channel, head over there and like and subscribe to that channel so you don't miss any videos. So we're here to help. We want to help folks as much as possible, and so the Q&A is one of the ways that we're able to do that the best, and we try to do it weekly if possible. All right, you ready to roll?
Ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Rhonda Burton Snyder. She has a 14-week-old German Shepherd puppy. She's trying to get her bell trained for pottying outside. She said that she did good at first. Now all she does is go to the door and sits there or lays down. So she doesn't know that she's there, and she's starting to have accidents in the house. Only pees. She's never did number 2. How do I get her consistent?
So Rhonda, thank you for the question. I don't think we've had one from you before, so thank you for the question. I used to bell train dogs, and I stopped. And the reason that I stopped was because you tend to rely too much on that bell. And then also, if you're bell training the dog, that means you're setting the dog up to do a lot of free roaming. So then what happens is you're anticipating that the dog's gonna go ring the bell, and then it's like you're not watching the dog. And that's not like a dig at you. That's why I stopped, because it wasn't adding to the lifestyle that I was trying to set my dog up with. So we're not big advocates of dogs free roaming, and we're not big advocates of puppies being outside of the crate unless they have 100% focus from a responsible adult. So what'll help you, Rhonda, is if you only have the puppy outside of the crate when you are a responsible adult, is watching the puppy 100%. And then also learn to watch your dog's cues, because they all tell us when they're about to potty. They all do. They all have their little dance, their little prance, their little way of telling us, I know, that was good, their little way of telling us that they gotta go potty. But if we're not really paying attention to them, we're going to miss those cues. We just are. So start telling yourself, you know what, this dog's only going to be outside of the crate when I can watch it 100% of the time. So I honestly would ditch the bells just like I did years ago. All right, thank you for the question. If we can help you in the future, we'd love to.
All right.
Next.
So Mariah Gibbons, she has a few things. So
Okay.
I'm gonna just start with the first. What do you feed your dogs? Tips for picking the best food. Thoughts on a raw diet and how to know if it's right for your dog.
Okay. Great questions. I'm a really big believer in staying in your own lane. So I'm a dog trainer and I give out dog training advice on things that I know absolutely work. I will never give you advice on something that I'm not 100% positive on or something that I've done hundreds if not thousands of times. I believe dog trainers should stay in their lane, vets should stay in their lane. So don't get dog training advice from your vet and don't take, medical advice from your dog trainer. That being said, I'm not a nutritional specialist by any means at all. I've done a lot of research on nutrition over the last year especially, and we personally are trying to get away from using dog food here. Some of our dogs are still on kibble, and for that we personally use Purina Focus Blend dog foods. I do feed raw and I do cook for my dogs as well. So some dogs are on cooked food, some dogs are on raw, some dogs are still on kibble. My goal is to transition everybody over to either cooked or raw. Watch a documentary on Amazon Prime called Pet Fooled. Pet Fooled. It's very eye-opening.
Did you want to try to spell that?
I don't.
I knew it's like I felt like it was going through your
I
head.
thought
though,
about
like
it.
you were gonna like you were gonna do it, and then you're like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. I'm gonna pass on that. Okay, so Pet Fooled. And it's very eye-opening on dog food companies and all that. So I guess I'll just throw this out to you. Dogs are not meant to be on a dehydrated, dry diet. They're just not. So we've only been feeding kibble to dogs the last 100 years. So just do your research. Do your research. I can't give out nutritional advice as an expert, but I can tell you that we're trying to get away from kibble here.
Okay. So she also says that she's finishing up week 1 with a prong collar, and he's doing amazing.
Awesome.
However, when she goes to take the collar off when he's getting ready to go back in the cage, he takes that opportunity to nip and bite. How does she stop that behavior when the prong comes off?
Bonker. And then you have to role play taking the collar on and off as in a training session. So if that dog was here with us being trained, we would take 10 minutes and sit down on the floor and put a slip lead on the dog. And so I have leverage, right? Because I'm taking the prong on and off, so I need leverage. So either make your traditional leash into a slip lead, or if you have a slip lead, slip it on the dog. So you have leverage, and then you take the prong on and then off. On and then off. And then every time the dog gets snarky with you, you say, no, bonk. Put the collar on, dog does good. Yes, food. Counter condition that. But yep, just bonk.
Can an e-collar be worn in the cage?
So here's the thing, guys. We let dogs wear e-collars on in the crate. However, anytime you have a collar on a dog and the dog is unattended, there is a level of danger with that. So the chances of something bad happening with an e-collar or a regular collar on in the crate is slim to none. Has it happened? Yes, it has. So I'll leave that up to your own discretion, but you should be fine to have the e-collar on in the crate.
I think too the e-collar just doesn't have any like dangly parts or anything. A lot of sometimes even flat collars will have like a dangly thing for something, so that's something to watch out for too. True. Again, not guaranteeing anything won't happen, but we do view it as a low level risk, so we like even on our personal dogs we'll leave it on them. So So she says she recently got upstairs neighbors and she's trying to teach him to be quiet. She's tried the bonker when he's in the cage barking, but she says she feels she must be doing something wrong because he becomes louder and faster in his bark after the bonker. Please help.
Okay, so that can happen occasionally. Not a lot, not often, but occasionally we will have a dog where you bonk the crate and it'll escalate instead of de-escalate. In that case, and guys, I'm well aware of the conversation. If you correct the dog in the crate, the dog will have a bad association with the crate. No, it won't. Never seen it. Ever. What you're going to have to do in this case is you're going to have to actually pull the dog out of the crate, bonk the dog, physically bonk the dog, and put the dog back in the crate. And remember, you are always calm. You are always matter of fact. You are not frustrated. You're not mad. You're not angry. It is simple. No, that was wrong. Bonk. Put the dog back in the crate. And then, once the dog is settled and quiet, then you have to counter condition with food. For anyone watching this, going like, wow, that seems awfully harsh. Okay, well, Mariah lives in an apartment. If Mariah can't get her dog to shut up in the crate, she may have to either move or rehome her dog. That's the reality. That's why I am so blunt and so forward about all the advice that I give about like, hey, let's just stop this. Let's just stop this unwanted behavior, because in my mind, being in this business long enough, in my mind, I go, the next step is Mariah is going to be asked to either rehome her dog or be evicted.
No.
Yes. Hey, no. Down. So pull the dog out of the crate, bonk the dog, move on, and now Mariah gets to stay in her home and keep her dog. No harm done. Next. I got off on a little tangent then.
No, I think that all needed to be said, because I think people are having a hard time sometimes, maybe not the people who regularly watch us, but people are having a hard time with that. So yeah. I really like to tell people that too. We never, one of our main goals is to never have anybody rehome their dog. And that's what we get. People come in and say, I'm done with this dog.
Yeah.
I'm about ready to be done with this dog. So
and I think for us, guys, that's what drives the free content that we put out there. Mm-hmm. We're not getting paid for this. And we don't want to. What we want is to get the emails and the messages and the DMs that says, hey, I was going to have to rehome my dog, bonked my dog, now I can keep my dog. I'm not going to get evicted, right? Like, we love that. That's why we do all this free stuff, because we want to give you answers that work. We don't want you to be out there hanging.
Truly. Okay, so Lauren McCauley, she says, hello again.
Hey.
She has...
That was like kind of synchronized.
It was. We planned that. No, we didn't. I have an 8-year-old Springer Cocker mix that has recently gone almost completely blind.
Aw.
He knows all commands from when he was first trained 4 years ago, but I'm working on solidifying them since the blindness has caused some extra anxiety.
Yeah.
Any tips to help with training and adjustment? I've not moved furniture, gated the stairs, and say step when coming to stairs to help him be aware. Thanks again.
So
her steps, so far she's just done, she's not moved any furniture.
Okay.
And then she's gated the stairs, but then she says step when they come near the stairs.
Okay. What you might have to do is you might have to put him on a leash and sort of like go up and down the stairs with him on a leash. That's hard, you know. I just ran my mouth 5 minutes ago about how I'm only going to give you advice that I know works or that I've done over and over, and I got to be 100% honest with you. I've never trained a blind dog. So I really don't have a lot of advice. I'm sorry about that, but I'm also like, not gonna just like run my mouth to sound smart either. So, I think if you were my dog, I would just guide him along a lot on leash, give him some extra guidance as you're working him through drills and different commands. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna ask if maybe like, do you know if Jeff has ever trained a blind dog? Maybe she could reach out to Solid Canine and see if they've ever dealt with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That was my only other thought, is because we just never have dealt with that. So
Yeah. Yeah, I just haven't. So I'm sorry that your dog's not doing well. I'm just not the expert in that. It's kind of out of my wheelhouse. So sorry, Lauren.
if we come up with anything, though, we'll definitely reach out.
Yeah. All right, next.
Danielle Lynn.
Hey, Danielle.
So a few things here. How do you know what the best training option is? Trying yourself, 3 weeks with you, 5 weeks with you, or board and train?
Do you want me to answer that first? Yeah, I'll answer that. So
Hold on, wait.
Okay.
My situation is we adopted a dog in March. The vet estimates she was about a year old when we adopted her. And she's kind of giving us some background info. So I don't know if you want me to read the background info first. And then...
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So from watching your videos, we've taught her to sit and stay. We use the prong collar and shock collar, and they help. But
Awesome.
she's inconsistent and only listens when she wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she plays very rough with the kids, nipping at them, and she chews on anything she can get her mouth on.
Mm-hmm.
If I devote all my attention to her, she does decent, but I work full time during the day. She doesn't listen to the babysitter at all, so I'm struggling teaching her the manners she needs.
Got it.
We want a dog that doesn't jump, stays off the furniture, consistently listens to commands, doesn't maul the kids, doesn't chew things she shouldn't, and that we could trust off leash on our property. We are considering all training options, but not sure what direction to go.
Got it. Okay. So, Danielle, super proud of you for saying like, hey, I know I need to do something, just not sure what. So, I'll quickly go through this. So you can fully off-leash train your dog by watching our videos and other dog trainers' videos. The breadcrumbs are there. You just have to follow the trail.
Mm-hmm.
But that takes work. So when we teach a dog a recall, place, downstays, sit, heels, like all of that. Hundreds of reps. We put 300 to 500 reps on each command while the dog is here with us before we ever apply a punisher for a non-compliance. 300 to 500 times we will guide that dog and teach that dog and reward that dog before that dog ever gets a punisher for non-compliance. So that's a lot of legwork. You do it by watching a free video, watch a tutorial videos. You do it. Doesn't cost you anything. We do it. Costs substantially more. Private training is middle of the road. So you come to us and we guide you step by step, and we work with the dog once a week, but really the other 6 days it's up to you. So somebody has to teach the dog. So you got to look at your schedule, and if you devote the time to it, you can do it. It won't cost you anything.
And I mean, she has, from our videos, she's said she's watched, she's taught her sit and stay so far.
Awesome. The other thing I noticed is the word consistent. The dog isn't giving you consistent behaviors. I think you read that 2 or 3 times. And this isn't me being like, picking at you or anything, but when a dog is not giving us consistent behaviors, it's because we are not being consistent with them. Dogs see black and white, right or wrong, good or bad, yes or no. It is us that blur the lines. It is us that filters the gray in. It's never the dog. When we're black and white with the dog, yes and no, every time, no matter what it is, the dog will give us consistency. So, if the dog's not giving you consistency, it's probably because you are being a little inconsistent with the dog. So just tighten up your reins, get more consistent. Also, the dog doesn't need to be out when the babysitter is home. crate the dog up. Don't let the babysitter be taking care of the dog. The dog's just not in a space right now for that. That is only going to muck it all up. So just don't even have the dog out with the babysitter.
Do you have any suggestions for her just while she decides, because the dog's playing rough with the kids? Do you have some suggestions for her to help out?
We like existence with kids. We do not like dogs and kids to be interacting a lot because it's a struggle. The dog is untrained, and then you have little kids.
Yeah, especially when the dog's untrained. It's
Right.
just it kind of, as she said with the babysitter, it'll muck it all up again.
Right.
So
I like for the kids to ignore the dog and the dog to ignore the kids. So I keep separate interactions. That doesn't mean that they can't be out together, but I don't want anybody interacting. So I don't know if you follow us on Instagram or not. I just put up some Instagram stories of a German Shepherd I was training over the weekend, and I worked with that dog on leaving my 6-year-old nephew alone. We taught the dog the out command, which we still need to do a video on that.
mm-hmm.
So the out command meaning the kid says out and the dog walks away.
We can do that next.
Yeah, we could.
She doesn't know it.
Yeah, we could. Maybe we'll do that today.
Okay,
Next.
that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the questions. We love helping you. Until next time.
Thanks.